Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. So good of you to join us on our Thursday. Welcome to Pandemic Science. I see Oliver is here. Oliver, I think I met your younger brother the other day. Do you have a younger brother in kindergarten? And Sky is here. Hello, Dagny and Kaylin too. All right. So, pandemic science today. First, some little order of business. Remember, remember we are having a little competition in coding. If you can make a cool build your own video game controller app in Scratch, then we will make one of these for you, and you can win the Pirate Controller video game controller. So that is an ongoing competition we have right now. What you need to do is you'll need to go to mrincorvia.com, click on this pink games button, and here is the build your own video game controller. So more on that later. Today we are talking about pandemic science, and I have some fun things to share about the pandemic. We're going to talk about testing for the coronavirus. I got tested for the coronavirus, and we filmed it, and we're going to share that with you today. And then also because I got tested, I was like, what is this test doing? So I did some research, learned a little bit about the process of what they do, and we'll share that with you too. So this is going to be a kind of a quick, short stream, but rich with lots of fun, sciencey stuff and some good ignorance dispelling information. In fact, I believe that is our learning target for today. I will use information to displace fear. That means that when we learn about things, they don't seem so scary anymore. And we certainly have a lot to learn about the coronavirus. It is a very new disease, and we are learning lots about it. So there's a lot of information to learn, and in the gaps of information, sometimes we can grow fear, and that is not a good thing. So we got to fill in those gaps. We got to learn all we can. All right, let's see how our chat is doing. Oliver says he has a second grade sister. Must have been another Oliver. And they don't something YouTube. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So let's get going today. So our school has made available to its teachers and staff the option to get COVID tested. And this is part of a program called Crush the Curve. I guess they're running this kind of a program. And I was like, hey, I want to get tested. I want to know what this is all about. I feel fine. There's no reason to think that I have contracted COVID-19, but it's just something that I wanted to know more about. So I arranged it through the school that the school would make available one of these tests to me, okay? Let's watch the video, and then we will talk about it, okay? Here we go.
Okay, here I am at school, and we're going
to find the person who's going to give us the COVID test.
Do you know where you want to do it? Or you tell me.
Look how thrilled Chelsea is to be on camera. You're not going to give me the test, are you?
No.
Who's going to give me the test?
You're going to give yourself the test.
I'm going to give myself the test.
We're going to put it an inch up your nose and go around 3 times in one nostril and then take it up.
Oh my goodness, that is news to me.
Yep.
All right.
You don't want me to do it.
So wait, come over here. Come here for a second. Okay, so what is your name?
My name is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
And what do you do here? And you're new here this year.
I am very new this
So
year.
tell what do you do here at Answer?
I am the health screener.
Okay, health screener.
Yes.
And where can we find you in the building?
You can find me in the office or hopefully not down in the isolation room.
Oh, the isolation room. All right. Well, I'm excited. So how do we do this? Like, where do we do this?
Wherever you want to do it. It's only going to take.
Can we do it in the isolation room?
You can do it in the isolation.
Oh, that's where I want to do it.
All right.
All right. Let's go to the isolation room.
Okay. On camera performance.
Okay. So this is the isolation room.
This is the isolation room.
This looks a lot like, I remember this used to be Amanda's room. So if you're looking at this saying, oh, this is Amanda's room, you are right. But
Yeah.
now it is an isolation. What would we use the isolation room for?
If a child or a staff member has any kind of COVID symptoms, then they would come here and wait to be picked up.
Wow, okay. So that way you would not infect someone else around you.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Let me just set up my camera here.
And then we'll get the siblings number. Do you have your case number?
I don't have my case number.
I need your case number.
Okay, so I need to get my case number. Okay, so I've given her my confirmation number, my case number.
Case number.
And now I'm ready, I guess, to take the test. I just wanted to say before this, I've heard that it is uncomfortable. She's nodding. And I just wanted to say that I am like feeling anxious, a little bit of anxiety about that. So, I guess that's
That's good. That means you're human.
That's, she says,
Things
I'm
are-
human. That's
things
not what
are-
the test was not to see if I'm human. But.
No, we've already determined that. Okay, so this is gonna go up your nose, at least an inch. So we're making your nose, remember
Okay.
that? And you're gonna go around 3 times in one nostril, and then 3 times in the next nostril.
Okay.
And you get to do it, so.
All right. So I got to do it myself here.
If your eyes are watering by the end, you've done it correctly.
My
is what
eyes
I-
are
Don't
watering.
just take that.
By the end, I've done it correctly. So this has to go up to about here, up my nose. Okay, wow. Both?
Both nostrils.
Okay. Oh,
It's uncomfortable.
okay. Was that far enough?
Yep.
I see a little blood, so that's cool.
It's the real deal now.
I feel like this one has not gone into my stomach. Oh, there we go. Oh. Far enough?
Yep.
Oh. Wow.
Alright, and then put the cotton into there.
Definitely has made my eyes water.
Yep, see, did it right.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Well, that was not as bad as I thought it was going to. It was uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt. It didn't feel like my brain was being poked. I've heard that before, but it definitely has made my eyes water. It felt like, a good poke up my nose, but that's all. Okay, is that it?
That's it.
That's it. I got tested for COVID-19, and how long will it take to get results?
I will take these to the FedEx by the airport. They will fly them to Tennessee, and we should get them 24 hours after they receive it.
Okay, so it flies to Tennessee, and then once they get it, 24 hours. So,
You'll get a text message or an email.
okay, text message, and then we'll let you guys know what happens. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing I want to do is wash my hands, because anytime you do anything with your face or with food, or anytime you're doing anything important with your hands, make sure you wash them afterwards. Hot water. Okay, so that was my little adventure. I got the COVID test. So let me just kind of like walk you through my experience there. So there are we have a new front office lady, and her name is Sarah, and she's also our medical screener. So if anyone was ever sick or something like that, she would take care of them. And she helped me self-administer the COVID test. And it was interesting. Like, so this thing goes up your nose. I'm sure you all have experienced something going up your nose. But then there is this kind of like, you can feel with the Q-tip that they give you, there's this like secondary entry, and it goes whoop into your sinus, and you can feel it all the way kind of like up in here. This swab goes up in there. And I was learning that the number one cause of a false negative, so meaning like if I actually had COVID and I did the test, but the test said I didn't have it, that's called a false negative. So the number one reason for a false negative is if the swab doesn't get deep in there, because this is where the virus lives. It lives deep in your nasal cavity. It actually lives mostly in the lungs, but what happens is it will come up and go into the nasal cavities up here, and that's where it will live. So that's why the swab has to get all the way back up in there. And I was afraid, I've never had anything pushed that far up into my face before. And I was worried it was going to hurt, but it didn't hurt. It felt really weird. It felt like there was something inside my face, but it did not hurt. So that was okay. And then the other two things that the video didn't share was we had a little conversation. The test cost the school $100, and I was surprised at that. I thought that the CDC had made all tests free, but no, the test cost $100, and I thought that was a lot. I mean, we want everyone to test as much as possible. So I was surprised that that the United States was still charging its citizens for the coronavirus test. I just read yesterday that Canada has made any future vaccine free. So the vaccine is free, and we're still charging people $100 for the test. So that's not very good. And then the other thing that was surprising, maybe you heard at the end, was that they took the little swab and then they put it in a plastic tube, and that tube is sent to Tennessee, where there is the processing center there. So once they get it, they are going to FedEx it to Tennessee, and once the lab there has it, they will do the analysis, and 24 hours after they get it in Tennessee, that is when they will get me my results. They'll text it or email it to me. That was surprising to me that it had to go all the way to Tennessee. I know that we have a number of labs here in Boise, and I wasn't sure. I thought maybe at the most it would go to like Seattle or Portland or something like that, but all the way, or Salt Lake, but all the way to Tennessee. That seems crazy that we don't have more laboratories that can analyze these results. So very interesting. So that was my little experience being COVID tested. And then I wanted to share with you, I did some research. So they stuck it up my nose, but then what? What do they do after that? So I learned a lot of complex sciencey talk, and I have come up with some beautiful art that I drew. This is just stunning art that I think that you will find very interesting. So I drew so here we are. Look at that. It's beautiful. Okay, so this is a coronavirus. It is very, very tiny. The orange squiggly part in there is what is called RNA. It is the genetic information that is inside of inside the coronavirus. It's not, maybe you've heard the word DNA. This is RNA. It's similar. So what happens is the virus goes up, you breathe it in, it goes up into your nose, it lives in your sinuses, and it will reproduce, and it will make its way down into your lungs where you get really infected. Not good. It will duplicate itself, and then you go into a period what is called shedding, where you will cough and the viruses will fly out, the duplicated viruses will fly out of your mouth, okay? So they have this orange strip in there called RNA, all right? And what happens is, what they do is they will take, when I stick a swab up my nose, they try to get some of the virus onto the swab. And then what they do is they take that to the lab. And what they do is they take the RNA and they kind of duplicate it. They flip it around and they smush it together with the RNA and they make DNA, the building block for... it's like the instructions of a cell. What to become? What do you become? It's like if you buy a Lego kit, you know how it's got a lot of Legos inside, but there's also that little piece of paper that says, hey, here's how you put something together. It's kind of like what the DNA is. So the scientists take that orange strip and duplicate it, turn it around, and they make DNA out of it, right? This is part of the testing process. They're doing this with my test right now in Tennessee. And then what they do is they add this PCR to the little mixture. The PCR stands for poly chain reaction, something like that. Poly something. I have forgotten. I will look that up. But anyways, this PCR, they add it to the DNA, right? And they swish it around. And what will happen is this. If the PCR is very specific to the COVID-19 DNA, okay? So if, there we go. If the PCR finds COVID DNA inside of it, what it will do is it will copy the DNA billions of times. It will find the DNA, make another DNA. Find that DNA, make another DNA. On and on and on and on and on. Billions and millions of times. So that inside the little dish, they grow all of this COVID-19 DNA. And then the scientists can look at it and say, aha, COVID-19 is here. You are positive for the virus, meaning you have it. Okay? Now, the PCR will only do this to the COVID-19 DNA. If there's other DNA in here, see, like, that guy, then the PCR will not react and will not grow anything. They'll look at the dish and they'll be like, oh, nothing grew in here. So we know that you are COVID-19 negative, meaning it is not in your body. Okay? So that is how that works. That's the swab test. That's what it does. Now there's another kind of test, and that is called an antibody test. So the antibodies, look at this beautiful art. Just stunning, the level of detail that your teacher goes into preparing these. So this is a drop of blood, all right? And inside of it, I've drawn these little stick figures with spears. That is what we're going to call antibodies. Now, antibodies are like your immune system. When you get sick, your body creates these little antibodies that swim around in your blood, and they look around for bacteria or viruses or whatever is causing you to get sick, and then they kill them or they disable them. And if you get sick with something like COVID-19, they will be in your blood. And after they hunt down and get rid of all of the COVID-19, they will still swim around in your blood for a while, for days or sometimes years, just protecting your body from future infection. Yes, you blood. Yeah. I know. You can tell from the attention of detail to the blood. That is very realistic here. So those are the two kinds of tests you can have. You can have this PCR test, which is the nasal swab, and they look for the DNA, or they look inside your blood to see if you have the antibodies, which your body produces. They're little proteins to help you fight against the COVID. Okay? All right. Do we have any questions? That is the end of my slideshow. I know you guys, what did you like that art? I spent far longer than you may think making those little slides. You didn't like it. Oh, Aiden. Very sad. Okay, guys, my time is almost up. I just want to remind you, before I go, that we have this build your own video game controller game competition going on. Okay, build a Scratch game or app that only uses up, down, left, right arrow keys and A and Z. The best one that gets emailed to me will win a pirate controller put together by us. Okay, we can do that together in school, or I can do it on stream for you. However you want. Whatever is safe, we can do it that way. Okay, so just want to remind you that competition, the build your own video game controller game competition, is on. You can find that at Mr. Incorvia. Thank you. All right, guys, it has been awesome seeing you. I hope that you learned a little today about the COVID-19 test, and then you can be like, oh, I know that's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. I'm glad that I had it done. And in a couple days, we'll get some results, and I will let you know what those results are and what they look like, okay? All right, guys. Good to see you. I will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock for Answer Plays Minecraft. 1 o'clock tomorrow. And I think we might do a bonus stream of Answer Plays Minecraft later on at 3 also, because it sounds like there's some conflicts. So we might do 2 streams. So tomorrow at 1, tomorrow at 3. All right. Take care, guys.